Hey guys, welcome to the first video on the new YouTube channel of Marvel DC Movie News. My name is David Hutchison and I'm the owner of the Marvel DC Movie News account on Instagram and the Marvel DC News account on Twitter. And we're going to do all our podcast stuff on YouTube from now on because, well, a number of reasons. One, more people use YouTube than they use SoundCloud, so it gives us a chance to branch out. But the main reason being that we have reached our upload limit on SoundCloud because we don't have this, the pro version that allows us to put up, unlimited amounts of sounds on SoundCloud. So we're basically just going to do all our podcasts, all our reviews, everything major on YouTube. But don't worry, we're still going to have our Instagram account, we're still going to have Twitter, we're still going to be posting on there all the news all the time. But just for our podcasts and, some reviews that we're going to be doing, we're going to use YouTube mainly for those. So every time we put up a new video, I'll put the link to YouTube in the bio on our Instagram page and on our Twitter as well, so it'll still be really easy for you guys to just click and listen to what we have to say. So if you're listening to us live right now, or if you're listening to this video right now, you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do, and please share it about. It really helps. Yeah, that's basically it. So we're going to kick off our first episode by reviewing the episode of Arrow that was on last night. This was Season 3, Episode 2 of Arrow. I really loved the episode. We're going to talk about some stuff that I did like, some stuff that I didn't like, and then just some general interesting points about the episode in general. Now, this review does include spoilers. So if you have seen the episode, or if you've not seen it and you don't care about spoilers, then go right ahead, listen. But if you don't want to find anything out, then go and check out some of our other posts on Instagram. Go and look at our SoundCloud. We've still got some sounds up there. And then come back and listen to this when you have seen the episode. So I'm going to start off with just some stuff that I really liked about the episode. Number one, I really liked the way that they dealt with Sarah's death. It wasn't just, it wasn't over the top. It wasn't, boo, Sarah's dead, let's move on to something else. They kept coming back to it again and again, just enough, while weaving some other plot points into there, such as, the flashback of Oliver having to, kill Tommy. While still having Sarah's death as the underlying story. So I really liked how it was, it was still there, but we were allowed to, and we were allowed to focus on other points. We were presented with other plot points I found really, really interesting. Number two, I liked Roy's character in this episode. If you saw our episode 1 review that we did last week of Season 3, Episode 1 of Arrow, then you'll remember that, or you may not remember, I may have said that I thought Roy's character was very flat in Episode 1. I didn't think he didn't really come off as though he had any impact on the episode at all. He was just kind of there. But this episode, we got a lot more of him, and I'm glad that he's now being used to help Oliver as his new Archer status. I think that's a really, really great role for Roy, because I felt in the previous seasons that he's just been there. He's not really been anything major. When the Mirakuru stuff kicked off, he played a bit more of a significant role, but now that he's using to help Oliver, and we're getting a lot more of him in this episode especially, I really liked Roy's character, and I hope that they continue on this projectile of using Roy more and more so we can see more of his character. I still love Stephen Amell. I think his acting is still evolving. We can really tell how much he's evolved as an actor from Season 1 all the way into Season 3. So I really like Stephen Amell's acting. I love Felicity as well. My favourite scene of Felicity's was when she was talking to Brandon Routh's character in the sort of the Queen Consolidated building. And she had a lot going on in this episode. Sarah died. The character played by Brandon Routh, he's trying to take over Oliver's company. And she was angry at this, and she was angry about how he was trying to hire her, and she was confused about why, and does she want this, does she not want this, and she was keeping all of that down, and the subtlety of it, the subtlety of her feeling all of these different emotions and going through all this different stuff in her life. It was very subtle. It was very well done. So that was my favourite scene of hers. I think she was maybe being a little too whiny in the scene, where she was in. She was explaining to Oliver, it's okay to have feelings, Oliver. I thought she was a wee bit too whiny in that episode. I think she overplayed it a tiny bit, but everything else, I thought she just did incredibly well. One more thing I really liked, I really loved Diggle in this episode. I love Diggle's character. I love the scene where Oliver is looking at the table where Sarah was lying, and he says, Diggle, I don't want to die down here. And Diggle just says, so don't. And Diggle knows what Oliver needs. He knows how to help Oliver. He wasn't just, he didn't go and give him a hug. He didn't, sit with him for ages. He just said, so don't. And that's all. And so I really loved that scene. I'm going to go into some stuff that I didn't like so much about the episode. I didn't like Komodo. I think it would have been better if they dragged him out over a few more episodes instead of just being, another villain that's gone by the end of the episode. He just came in, start of the episode, Oliver chased him, found out who he was, and that's him done. I think it's very repetitive, and it's a very common thing for all these shows to do, in the DC universe especially. I'm not saying the Marvel TV universe doesn't do it, because it does. But this isn't a Marvel review. This is a DC Arrow review. So I think it would have been a lot better if they dragged out that character instead of just having one episode done, and then next week we'll just have another villain, and then he'll be done. And then the next week we'll just have another villain, and then he'll be done by the end of that episode. So wasn't a huge fan of Komodo. The ending. I really was not a huge fan of that ending. I didn't like how Thea's been training for 5 months, and just like that, she can take out 2 ninjas at the same time that have been training their entire lives. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. If you liked it, if you agree or disagree with any of these points, that is totally cool. Leave your thought in the comment section below, or comment on Instagram your thoughts. But that's just how I feel. I didn't really like the ending. I thought it was, it sort of pulled me out of it. I found it very unbelievable. And all of a sudden she's just best friends with Malcolm Merlyn now, after everything that's happened. So it did kind of pull me out of it. I wasn't a huge fan. I would have much preferred if they cut to her in the middle of training with Malcolm Merlyn. Her being with Malcolm Merlyn, that's fine. But I much preferred if they maybe cut to a shot of her in the middle of training, just so we could even see that Malcolm Merlyn is training her, instead of her just being, automatically insanely skilled at martial arts after a few months of not being with Oliver. And that was everything I didn't like about the episode. I've got some interesting comments, though, that you guys can think about, and you guys can let me know your thoughts on these below. This is just one thing. As soon as the Komodo guy came in, I knew he wasn't Sarah's killer. I think quite a lot of you knew he wasn't Sarah's killer as well. They're not going to have a character that's an important as Sarah just killed off and then have her killer found in one episode, and that's that. I don't think that we're going to find out her killer for a while. Maybe not even until the second half of the season. Yeah, I wasn't convinced that he was the killer. As soon as he came on, I thought, that's just too obvious. It's too quickly done. It's going to be someone else. So I don't think we're going to find out Sarah's killer for a while. Another interesting thing, they're introducing Tommy again, because he was in the flashbacks that Oliver had to kill him. Why are they introducing him again? They have a Lazarus Pit, I believe, in this DC television universe. So maybe we're going to see more of Tommy. Maybe it's going to be in flashbacks. Maybe it's not in flashback. But maybe Malcolm Merlyn took his body when he died, brought him back somehow, and now he's going to come back in the modern era of the Arrow show. Maybe he killed Sarah. That's one theory that I was thinking throughout the when I first saw Tommy. I thought maybe it's him. It would be such an emotionally twisting thing for Oliver, that it would be a really interesting plot point for the show, for the season. Some other people that could have killed Sarah. I've said this in the episode 1 review. It could have been Roy. as a lingering Mirakuru effect. You know, he's this, you know, he's a good archer now. He's got this archer status, so maybe, you never know. It could have been Oliver. It could have been Oliver. It's not impossible. As a lingering effect of the drug that he was injected with in the first episode. I'm just going to be clear, I don't think it was Roy. I don't think it was Oliver. I don't think it was Ra's al Ghul. I think that's the obvious choice. It could be any one of these three. We don't know who it is, but Sarah obviously knew who it was on the roof because she said, "Oh, you know, what are you doing here?" You know, so she obviously knew the person who it was, and that's another reason why it was kind of obvious to me that it wasn't Komodo, because Komodo was wearing his mask, and if he did kill Sarah, he would have been wearing his mask as well, and Sarah could obviously see the face, so it wasn't someone wearing a mask. Therefore, it was not Komodo because he was wearing a mask throughout the whole time that he was an archer, or he was using his bow and arrow in the second episode until Oliver took it off. So I do not really think it was Roy. I do not think it was Oliver. You know, to an extent, I don't think it was either of them. But you know, it's not impossible. We don't really know anything about Sarah's killer other than we know that she knows who they were. So you know, there's no one out there that can say, "Oh, it definitely wasn't Oliver, definitely wasn't Roy," and they can prove it, because they can't. And everything's possible at this stage because we don't know enough to make a definitive decision. We know Ra's al Ghul is going to be in the show, I believe. So maybe if Nisa comes back from, I think it was, you know, season 2, she comes back upset about Sarah's death. Maybe maybe that's the reason that Ra's al Ghul comes to Starling City. To, you know, help his daughter find Sarah's killer. That is it for our Arrow Season 3 Episode 2 review. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks everyone for listening. Like I said in the start, if you've not done already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. That I'll put a link in on our Instagram bio and on our Twitter page. If you disagree, or if you agree, or if you have any additional comments to add on anything that I've talked about today, then please just jump in the comment section below and let us know. Give this a thumbs up if you liked the video, because it really does help, and share it with other people who like Arrow as well. And you know, just the usual, subscribe to us, or you know, follow us on Instagram at Marvel DC Movie News, follow us on Twitter at Marvel DC News, and we'll try and put up some videos, you know, just regularly every time some big news comes out, and all our reviews will probably be done on YouTube as well. So yeah, thanks everyone for listening, and until the next episode, bye bye.